My sister's boyfriend caused my nephew's lake accident, and she saw the whole thing. I was folding Danny's Superman shirts when my sister Sarah called. "Danny's in the hospital," she said. "He nearly drowned at the lake." Danny was only 8, but that made no sense. He had been swimming since he was tiny. I grabbed my keys and asked what happened. Sarah said he went under. The lifeguard pulled him out, and he's not waking up. At the ICU, Sarah was in her swimsuit. Her makeup was running, and she stared at the floor. But she wasn't falling apart. She looked guilty. I asked where Marcus was. Marcus was her boyfriend of 6 months. She said he had to leave for an emergency shift. He managed a Pizza Hut, so I said, "What pizza emergency matters more than Danny?" She snapped, "Don't start." I asked what really happened. She picked at her cuticles. "I told you, he went under." I said, "Danny doesn't just go under." Her face tightened. "Kids can drown, Lisa." But Danny had changed since Marcus came around. He stopped joking, had nightmares, and moved closer to Sarah whenever Marcus walked in. 3 hours later, the doctor said Danny was stable, but then she mentioned bruises on both shoulders. Sarah went white. The doctor said they could be from the rescue, but they had to document it. I turned to Sarah. "Who touched him?" She whispered, "Nobody." Then her phone buzzed. Marcus's name flashed on the screen. The preview said, "Do not say anything stupid." I held out my hand. "Give me the phone." She shoved it into her pocket. "No," I said. "Then I'm calling the police myself." She finally started crying. "You don't understand. It was fast." Before she could say more, Marcus walked in wearing his work shirt with dry hair and clean shoes. I was a little guy. I stepped between them. "Why did you leave?" He shrugged. "Work called, and I came back, didn't I?" Sarah's whole body went small. I walked to the nurse's desk. Marcus followed, saying I was making a scene. I said, "My nephew has bruises on his shoulders, and this man left right after it happened." Marcus grabbed my wrist and said, "Watch your mouth." A security guard stepped forward, and Marcus let go. Then Sarah shouted, "Stop!" Everyone turned. She was shaking. "He didn't just go under." Sarah said Danny had been swimming near the floating dock. Marcus kept telling him to stop splashing because water was getting on his phone. Danny said he wasn't doing anything. Marcus called him spoiled. Sarah told Marcus to leave him alone, then turned to grab towels. When she looked back, Marcus was in the water with Danny, with both hands on his shoulders. At first, she thought he was playing too rough. Then, Danny's arms started hitting the water. Marcus pushed him under again. Sarah screamed. Marcus let go and yelled that Danny had slipped. The lifeguard jumped in before Sarah reached them. I kept my voice steady. "And you let him leave?" Sarah covered her face. "He said nobody would believe me. He said everyone would ask why I brought him around Danny." Marcus snapped. "She's confused." I said, "Then stay while security calls the police." He tried to walk out, but the guard blocked the door. A nurse said they had to report possible harm to a child. Marcus got louder. He said Sarah was unstable, Danny was dramatic, and I had hated him from the start. Then he said Danny wanted attention. Sarah stopped crying. "He's 8. The police arrived soon after. Marcus said Danny was showing off by the dock, went under, and everyone panicked. The nurse brought photos of Danny's shoulders. The marks looked like fingers. Marcus went quiet. Sarah gave me her phone, and I showed the officers the texts. "Say he slipped. Do not ruin my life. Your sister already hates me." Then a nurse said Danny was waking enough to respond. Only Sarah and I went in. Danny's eyes were barely open, and tubes were taped to his face. I took his hand. "Danny, you're safe. Can you tell us what happened?" His lips moved, but no sound came out. Sarah sobbed, and I squeezed her arm to keep her quiet. Danny forced out 2 words. "Marcus pushed." I stepped into the hall and repeated it to the officers. Marcus exploded, shouting that Danny was lying. One officer told him to turn around. Marcus tried to pull away, and the guard grabbed his other arm. Sarah walked out with shaking hands. The officer asked if she wanted to make a statement. Marcus shouted, "Sarah, don't!" She looked at him once, then said, "Marcus pushed my son under the water, and I saw him do it." The officer put Marcus in cuffs, and Sarah signed the statement at the nurse's desk.